Hello, Spiderman. It is me.
Your long-lost father.
I have been here for decades. I know you would like to know the secrets of the universe.
This is me.
But I cannot reveal them to you just yet.
I'm Spider-God.
Soon enough, my friend, we shall be reunited, and we will become one. Hi, welcome to Listen.
Find the power source, collect them.
Why are Tiny T-posing people so funny?
Is this? Boo boo. Am I missing something here? Are these not connected anymore? Hey, you're supposed to be connected. Okay, they are connected.
I just looked up the 15 worst Spider-Man stories of all time, according to Screen Rant. Number 15. Peter's parents come back from the dead and become androids.
Wonderful.
The pattern becomes evident early on. Crazy events, twist reveals, and shocking retcons tend to be very, very, very bad for Spider-Man. The 1990s were when these terrible storylines first really began kicking off, and this is the earliest head-scratchers. The running storyline was when Peter's parents seemingly come back from the dead. What is this one? Number 14, Sins Past. If the android parents nonsense should have taught Marvel one lesson, it's this. Don't drudge up things from Peter's past and skew them sideways for new storylines. Instead, we end up with a much-hated storyline where the Green Goblin has sex with Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, that's the one.
Is that... Wait, is it Norman or is it Harry?
Norman. That makes it even worse.
Like that.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad that they... I think at the time, Peter was married to Mary Jane, right? And their way to retcon it is just have the devil come out and be like, okay, we will bring Aunt May back, and we will fix the whole... We would make... you would go back to being a high schooler or some shit like that, right? And it will like basically fix the whole... that whole storyline. And like... But he has to not marry Mary Jane or some shit.
Sins Past reveals that before Gwen got killed, she gave birth to twins named Gabriel and Sarah. The father is Norman Osborn. Apparently, the actual reason that he killed her was because she threatened to cut him off from their children. So yes, this story is fundamentally undermines the entire point of one of the most iconic Spider-Man moments ever. Oh my god, that's terrible. Sins Remembered, number 13. This is how bad thing becomes worse. Sins Remembered was the follow-up to Sins Past, and is chronicle what happens to Gwen's daughter. Sarah Stacy, after the conclusion of Sins Past, sees her brother transform into the Grey Goblin. After Peter comes to get her out of the hospital where Sarah was evidently waiting for him to rescue her, it rapidly becomes apparent that Sarah has a massive crush on him. Yes, the daughter of Gwen Stacy, Norman Osborn, has a crush on Peter Parker, her dead mother's boyfriend, which is more than a little weird. The story delves into Sarah and Gabriel's backstory a bit, and it's generally just uncomfortable from start to finish, particularly when Sarah tries to kiss Peter in front of his wife, Mary Jane.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
What am I missing? I've been stuck here.
I don't know. But just know that I believe in you, Harry.
Thank you.
Thanks, Luigi.
What am I...
You got all this shit connected, don't you?
Yeah, I did.
Let's see. Number 12, Trouble. So it's a picture of a very... Hold on. Dude. I'm gonna put this... I'm gonna put the... I'm gonna put this right here. And I'm gonna send it in the Discord so Larry could put it in later. If Discord would fucking hurry up. Upload. There we go. So, it is a picture of this woman. And that is Aunt May.
Is it when she's like an agent? No?
I'm gonna read it real quick. Okay. Trouble is the 2003 comic created by Bill Jemas. I'm gonna just say Germa and Joe Quesada was a story about teen pregnancy that was supposed to resurrect the long-dead genre of romance comics. It tells a story about 4 hormonal teenagers who just so happen to be named Ben, May, Richard, and Mary, and the romantic exploits. There's a plot twist when May cheats on Ben, her boyfriend. When Ben's brother Richard, May gets pregnant with Richard's son, and is so afraid to reveal the truth to her parents that May saves the day by pretending to the world that the child belongs to her and Richard, and that May was never pregnant. Obviously, the names are no coincidence. The story was written with the intention of providing Peter origins so that Aunt May was really his mother, having cheated on Uncle Ben with Richard Parker. The twist didn't fly with fans who immediately rejected the story and pointed out its numerous contradictions with the established continuity. Trouble was quickly buried by the backyard and has never been mentioned since.
What?
Theater. Roxon Plaza.
Whoa, what? That's, how could she?
It's not open yet, so there'll be no casualties.
I don't...
Aunt May looks hot in that, though.
Can't let her do this.
Huh?
Aunt May looks hot in that. Is that's supposed to be Mary Jane? She says jackpot. Jackpot. Unless Aunt May said that to... Man, stop trying to change backstories. Come on now.
Number 11, Changes. This bizarro little tale sees Spider-Man face off against his new telepathic, insect-powered villain named the Queen, until she lays a giant kiss on the wall crawler, which causes him to experience, some changes. First, he grows an extra couple of arms, some fangs, and oh, this is just when he becomes like a big, like, spider thing, isn't it?
Huh?
This is like when he became like a spider.
Oh yeah. I like that in the animated show. It was cool.
It was funny.
It was really hilarious, actually.
Number 10, Mary Jane's fake death. The strange and pathological hatred that Marvel editorial has had for Spider-Man's marriage to Mary Jane's is a terrible saga unto itself. Since the 1990s... I lost my place. Since the 1990s, multiple editors tried to destroy the Spider marriage, leading to many of the awful storylines on this list. One of these kill the marriage attempts was this storyline, where a huge mystery played out about someone stalking and then killing Mary Jane. One would think that Peter's wife would immediately tell her spider-powered husband about such a thing, but instead the story makes her keep it a secret. Why? Until she boards an airplane, which then blows up in a ball of fire, killing her. Of course she is not actually dead. Sometime later it's revealed that her stalker's been holding her captive, and that he's a psychic supervillain who wants to steal Peter's life. After Mary Jane is rescued, the subsequent reunion is feared with more weird and out-of-character beats, like the fact that she decides to separate from Peter shortly after getting home. The whole thing doesn't line up with how either of these two characters are supposed to act, and this whole stalker death captive mystery took an entire 2 years to play out? What the fuck?
See, this is the problem with comic books, is that you have dudes basically writing fan fictions of characters because they don't like a certain character. It's like too many authors with their own, like, biases towards characters writing stuff. Like, if Peter Parker is married to Mary Jane, why would you just... Why are there so many different authors trying to just separate that? Okay. What? What did I get hit by?
I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead through some of these because they're just not that interesting. But number 6 is Doc Ock almost marries Aunt May.
Oh yeah.
Not all of the terrible Spider-Man stories come from the last few decades. Most of them, yes, but even the classic era had a few stinkers. Dr. Octopus has had many devious and intelligent plans, but one of them was not about his shiniest. Well, one of them was not his shiniest. The whole thing happens because Octavius discovered that Peter's Aunt May is about to inherit a major nuclear power plant.
Why is she inheriting that?
For whatever reason, Octavius determines that the best way to steal the inheritance from her is to get married to her, a proposition which Peter's obviously not too excited about. Luckily, the wedding gets interrupted by Hammerhead. Not so luckily, this story still occasionally gets referenced, which means it must still be part of the continuity. Can we please just pretend this story never happened?
That's honestly a pretty funny story.
Number 5 is Corporate Peter.
Number
Spider-Man is the everyman. It's the whole nature of his appeal, except for this plot element, which is still running in the comics today. Totally destroys by the appeal by turning Peter Parker into a second-rate Tony Stark ripoff. Sure, by the time Peter's in his late 20s, he shouldn't be working freelance at the Daily Bugle anymore. The comics of the 2000s solved that problem by placing him as a high school science teacher at his old school. But now, as the CEO of Parker Industries...
Fuck.
Oh my fucking god. Peter Parker is suddenly this cocky billionaire playboy who flies to different Parker industry branches all over the world and uses the Spider-Man identity as both his bodyguard and the mascot of his company. Basically, the whole thing changes from Peter, a working-class hero, into an annoying one-percenter. In general, the whole thing feels so far removed from Spider-Man's storylines that are supposed to be that feels that one's reading another character altogether. Like, I don't know, maybe Iron Man.
Fuck Iron Man. Did you like Iron Man before the first
the
movie?
movies?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Iron Man.
Man. I didn't really watch
Secret Wars is one of my favorite comic like collections of all time. And that whole era when they were writing about Iron Man's alcohol addiction, I love that. I love that era of
Just to put it out there.
Iron Man comics as well.
Finn's right. And this is
I've had
the
this
way to
thought,
beat Roxxon.
and it's like,
Finn's not just talking about throwing a rock.
yeah,
He wants to blow up a building.
you know how everyone says, I mean, it's true, but Robert Downey Jr. plays the perfect Iron Man?
Can't let her take that chance.
You're right. Let's get the
I feel like
uniform outta
he
here.
did at the start, but what happened is that when they were making the movies, they're like, wait, we should give him some character development, right? And he becomes he doesn't become like an amazing person, right? But he does sacrifice himself for the world. So I mean, that's probably as good as you can get, right?
Yeah.
He does make mistakes, but he does like regret them. And like, the thing is that they give him so much character development that he kind of doesn't become like Tony Stark. He's like his own thing now.
Yeah, and he's
Because
very
Tony Stark stays an asshole like most of the time.
This place better than we did our last.
Like Tony Stark's like a huge asshole in the comics.
want to pack up again.
he's a fucking
Right.
cunt in the comics.
Huh?
He's a fucking cunt in the comics.
He's just such a big like in the Iron Man movies, in the first one, he was like an asshole, right? But then like the character development happens and it's like I'm good now. And it makes sense. It makes sense. It's good character development. But the comics don't do that to him. And it's like,
Well, I feel some of them have had him like have his moments. I feel God, what? A Demon in a Bottle. That's the name of the storyline that I like. Which is the one where he like has to come to terms with his alcohol addiction. I feel that one did a really good job of like developing his character, and then the subsequent Secret Wars which followed.
That'll leave him.
I feel that was like, I feel to this day I still think that's probably Iron Man's best ever storyline in comics.
wasn't there like lately in this story, didn't Iron Man know about that the world was like that world was gonna get like not the world but the universe was gonna get destroyed in like a couple like years and didn't tell anyone?
In a recent comic book thing?
I think so.
I don't fucking know. They just, I don't keep up with like recent comic books just because of how blatantly not good they are. It's not to say that they're bad. It's just they're not good.
They're not good and they're not released in like a good enough like way for what the fuck's happening? What are you doing? Just walking into the boxes?
Like before you could just go to a comic shop, right? But like I have no idea how you actually read comics
What are you
now.
guys doing over here?
Is there like a DC like comic app or some shit?
I think so. Alright, I'll put you out of your misery. I think it's like called like Comixology or something. I don't know, Shonen Jump has been doing a better job with their digital releases, I think.
Here we go. These are the top three.
They look so
The Clone
Apps?
Saga.
Oh.
Few storylines are so infamous. We could go on for hours with all the problems in the Clone Saga. But, here we go. Once again, the story starts with an interesting concept, involving the idea of Spider-Man clone who may or not be the real Peter. Thanks to editorial interference, this thing got dragged out for 3 years. 3 years of Clones issue, we eventually make anyone sick of clones, especially when the storyline kept introducing new twists, new turns, and new characters every 2 seconds. But the ending just makes it all worse. As famed Black Panther writer Ta-Nehisi Coates has pointed out, the true greatest sin of Clone Saga was that it resurrected Norman Osborn. The dead Norman was a complex figure, and his legacy and death held a looming presence over Peter's life. After the Clone Saga, Norman has been often written more like
Jeez.
DC's Lex Luthor.
I mean, he is kind of like... Is he like... Is Norman Osborn like Marvel's Lex Luthor? I mean,
I would say he's their best equivalent, but he's nothing like Lex.
like
Like
what is
the closest thing that they
Norman's-
have is just that they're rich.
Yeah, what is? Okay, what's Norman's motivation usually
Just,
for him?
Yeah.
This is just a Dark Souls guy right here. Dude has a fucking giant warhammer and a fucking shield.
Okay.
you
Number
go.
2. And I think I believe you know these as much as I do. After the ugly reception that One More Day retcon led to, hang on, we're almost there. Editorial refused to backtrack, but they wanted to somehow make things quote unquote better. To end that story, one moment in time was created to offer a revised explanation for why Peter and Mary Jane never got married, and why everyone had conveniently forgotten about Spidey's identity after he outed it in Civil War. Basically, there's a whole shebang about how the marriage was canceled because the web had missed it, and the forgotten identity revealed is chalked up to Doctor Strange magic. None of this fixes the problem. And number 1, One More Day. Seriously, could there any be doubt this is the single worst Spider-Man story of all time? Really, nothing else compares.
Wait, hold on. I think this is a pretty important.
So you can steal my newborn? Not a
It's,
Oh,
it's probably an
I wasn't
important thing.
Hey, Genki,
Finn, stop! You're killing millions right now.
grab the new form. I'm chasing her across Manhattan.
We get it. You hate Roxxon, but goddamn, those people didn't do anything to you.
Capture. Step 2, I'll get back to you.
Finn, you're literally Finn. Stop!
Back off.
Someone's grandmother lived there.
Oh shit. You'd be nothing without that fucking suit, whore.
How about we use our words? How about you stop being so clingy?
How about you lick my balls?
I'm not clingy.
No, Baka. I don't like you. Bro, hey,
I love Miles.
it is not going as expected, Genki. It seems there's quite a problem, actually.
Wait, hold on. No, Miles.
Tinkerer, I gotta tell you something. Slow down.
Yeah?
Think I'm stupid?
No, wait.
I don't think this is a good idea, Miles.
Step off, Spider-Man.
Finn! Stop! You don't need to do this. You're really agile for some reason.
You just snap her neck.
Alright, that gets rid of that. Peter, I did what you did last time.
Oh crap. Not good, not good.
Has any
This is really
moment
not good.
in Spider-Man ever, like, not surpassed, but ever have, like, such a impact as Gwen Stacy's death?
I don't know, man.
The only other thing I can think of is, like, maybe him revealing his identity in Civil War.
Civil War was great.
I need to read it. I got mad because I bought it said Civil War and I bought it and it wasn't the entirety of Civil War and it was just one thing, one little small portion where he gets the Iron Spider suit, and I didn't buy the rest of it. I need to. Are you mad that the Civil War didn't actually happen the way the comics did?
I mean, I was kind of expecting it to not.
Because we didn't even
Considering-
have Spider-Man at that time.
There was just a lot of holes.
My mom would be very upset. Can we just...
You two on the roof! Freeze!
Don't jump. You have a lot to live for. How did she just disappear?
She took lessons from Batman.
Like when she's like running away from me, she's like blowing up everything. Now she can quietly just leave.
Or 3.
Now that I've broken a rib,
Hey, how'd it go with Finn?
Not great.
let's break some more.
You still at my place?
I'm actually at home. My parents get back next week, so I thought I'd clean it. But I can come back.
Nah, it's okay. I'll call you later.
It's okay,
Damn.
Gink. Mr.
Now
Gink.
what?